inside with.
That's all right.
Podcast City Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, and get out, get knocked down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And my guest tonight, the one and only IshmaelVaughn. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, David. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. You just got done. You were telling me during the week, we were talking on our social medias, and you just got back from a show, and you faced Brian Cage. What was that like?
Yeah, so I was at Dark Arts Entertainment last night in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was supposed to be a triple threat match between Brian Cage and Kyle Jack. Unfortunately, Brian Cage actually wasn't able to make it. So Kyle Jack and I went, he wasn't there. Don't you hate when the good talent bounces out? Like they just, and you're like the main star then. Yeah, it was a shocker, but Kyle Jack and I, we put on a really good match. We had fun. I've known Kyle Jack for a little bit of time now. We got to know each other a little bit well, but we've never actually had the opportunity to step in the ring with each other once since we've known each other. And now we get this big one-on-one opportunity, and we knocked it out the park. It was a really great match. Unfortunately,
that's good.
I did not get the W. I fell just a little bit short, but he got lucky.
That's okay. You know what? You showed him who you are again. You showed him who you got a little competition in versus him. You're the star and showed him. Heck with Brian Cage. There's always another time.
Exactly. There's always another time. I'm sure there'll be opportunities down the road. It wasn't that big of a bummer because Kyle Jack and I had the opportunity to put on a really great masterpiece.
And how was the rest of the show? How was the rest of the card?
The show was fun itself. It was an 8-match card. Everyone put on a really good banger of a match. I had the opportunity to see pretty much all the matches except for the main event. Because since I was from California, I had to get back. But I am going to watch the match between Damian Drake and Bret the Threat, which was the main event. So every match was pretty good. It was really good. I enjoyed myself.
Any females in the action too? Was there any ladies on the card?
Yeah, there were ladies on the card. Mercedes was on the card. Dark Sheik was on the card.
Oh, Dark Sheik. The Dark Sheik. Oh, what a hell of a talent right there. She is awesome.
Hell of a talent. So, yeah, it was a really good show. Good show. Everyone killed it. The ladies went on first. They set the tone for the show, and they did a good job setting the tone. Because, as you know, the opener is literally just as important as the main event because they set the tone for how the rest of the show is going to go, and they did just that.
That's like a dark match. Like, when you have the dark match, you have to just perform as you were part with a good friend of ours and a friend of yours, Kid Bandit. They did a debut. What was that experience like for you to be on the spotlight, in the spotlight?
Yeah, so when Kid Bandit and we did our tag team match against 2.0 on Dark. That was our second time being on Dark, and we both participated in tag matches before that, but we were finally being able to tag as a team together. And that was a really fun experience. Kid Bandit and we go way back. We both started at Santino Bros Wrestling Academy.
I'm going to have I actually have a couple of guys coming on. I have a Darwin Finch is coming on my podcast in June.
Yeah, so Bandit and I met Darwin at Santino Bros, and he was one of the people who actually helped train us. Oh, cool. So, when we started back at Santino Bros, we have a lot of history together. I know Kid Bandit's story, and I know how far he's come.
And also, I'm going to have a Gino Riviera as well.
Yes, a veteran in the game.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah, he's really good. But having that opportunity to be on Dark with Kid, it was a surreal experience. It was our second TV match ever. We were doing it together as a team. I feel like our journey has taken the same path, but is also starting to split in different ways as well. So
I
it's
know
exciting to see.
Kid Bandit's got a good like a world tour going on right now. I'm seeing all over the social media. I'm proud of him. Yeah, we're proud of him.
Yeah, he's doing great.
I mean, everybody likes a Kid Bandit. You know, he's one of those guys that needs to be seen. And I think East Coast is going to have him in a couple of days, actually, or they just had him. I'm not sure. You know, he'll be on IWTV to showcase what he's got to. I think NFW versus Marco Stun, I believe, or somebody I can't even remember. But he's got a lot. Which is. Or Yo-Yo, I can't remember. There's so many good guys, talents out in the world these days. You can't even keep track of who's who anymore. You know.
I know the wrestling scene is thriving these days. There's so many options now.
California, like you say, California is a big scene for wrestling as well. Like East Coast, West Coast, just everywhere, man. You know, would you love to come on the East Coast? Would you like to?
Most definitely. I would love to come out on the East Coast, show what I can do. I've been trying to make my way out to the East Coast, building those connections. But yeah, I would love to come out to the East Coast. Absolutely. Yeah. That's part of where our training was done when we trained at the Nightmare Factory in Georgia was on the East Coast. I actually made my debut on the East Coast, technically. So yeah, I would love to come back.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Showcase at my local. I'll put you in the hat. Maybe Titan Championship Wrestling, local promotion with Steve Monster Mac. Shout out to Monster Mac, the man. But we've had a lot of guys who've come through, and this is fun. It's just fun wrestling. Just
most definitely.
Wrestling. What you want, top talent and challenges are always up for the titles. They always throw a title up for challenge, which is the name of the game. Got to get that title.
Got to get those titles, build up those stats, build those connections, build those fans.
What was it like for you growing up as a wrestling fan?
Growing up as a wrestling fan, it was very interesting the way I fell in love and found professional wrestling. So the way I discovered professional wrestling to begin with was I used to watch The Simpsons and South Park religiously. But The Simpsons, once it went off, always had this 2-hour gap before South Park came on. And I would just turn the TV off and just start playing video games. But during that 2-hour gap, Friday Night SmackDown was going on. And I didn't know that during the time. So one time I had finished playing my video games pretty early, and I was like, you know what? South Park will be on in like 10 minutes. Let me just turn the channel and get ready for it. And when I turn the channel, the first thing I see is Randy Orton and The Undertaker and everything that was going on during their feud during that time. And as soon as I saw everything that was going on, I got captivated like that. And next week, instead of playing video games during that 2-hour time period, I tuned into Friday Night SmackDown.
And then you went to your very first training school and took your first experience in the ring, take your first bump. You're like, what is this? What am I getting myself into? Yeah,
it's crazy. So the first bump I actually took was at a WWE tryout. That was the first bump I ever took, and I almost gave myself a concussion.
Oh, really, man?
And I was wearing a helmet too when I took that bump. So
yeah.
But now bumping is just so natural to me. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah. And plus the factory is beautiful, so you have a beautiful facility,
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And I'm sure you see once in a while there's a guy named a good friend of mine, Nasty Leroy.
Yeah, Nasty Leroy. We met him at the Nightmare Factory. He's there all the time. Great guy.
He's a great character. He's he got his wish, and he's probably going to be wrestling. I guess Game Changer Wrestling is GCW week is coming to Atlanta again. So
yes, it is. I saw that.
So you might have to pop in and hang out with Kid Bandit for a little day and just go see what's going on. Get yourself,
Nope. Exactly. Yeah, it's exciting. They're coming back to Atlanta. We've been back to the Nightmare Factory. At least I have 3 times since we graduated, and it's always a welcoming environment. It is.
And you have so many other guys as well I've had on the podcast. It's a great experience to see. When you guys were just getting your name out there. It's the way to, people don't know how to use social media, and as a performer, you need to learn to branch it out and get your names known.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the name of the game. That's what Kid Bandit and I wanted to do as soon as we made our debuts. Is go back to California, wrestle all over the place, do whatever
Mm,
we can to get our names out there, work, gain experience, and build those connections.
absolutely, absolutely. Get yourself on a platforms, and because you never know, you might be on Tony Schiavone's or some top podcast, Eric, Bischoff or
Yeah,
Steve Austin. You never know. You
you
never
never
know.
know.
You know, I mean, but you have your your guy now is now in WWE, so you know,
Yeah, it's kind of cool that
eh,
we have
I know
Cody in WWE, and then we still have QT Marshall in AEW. So
QT. I'll tell you what, man, QT is awesome. I used to watch him wrestle at the East Coast all the time, so he's a good dude. He needs to
he's
come
an
back.
amazing wrestler.
He needs to come back and
He's a
wrestle us.
lot better than what people give him credit for.
Even in Ring of Honor, I remember seeing him wrestle.
Yeah,
Great, great experience for him to. But now look at AEW has Ring of Honor in New Japan. This is like going to be it's a whole new venture of tastes for fans to see what styles are and really to bring the new, the Yomoshitas or all those weird names of Japan that we know to come over and wrestle. Like you're going to see Samoa Joe face a lot of these guys as well.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because now we have so many potential dream matchups that you never thought you would see. And with
hmm
the Forbidden Door pay per view coming up, that's going to be exciting to watch. We're going to get a lot of cool matches.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we had contracts that expired, but friends are, they're getting around. We're shouting, they're getting their experience doing more stuff that they want to do as well, which is awesome.
Exactly.
And they're not scared. They're not scared. But
Exactly.
Let me ask you this: what was it like to go into the go into the factory? What was it like for you? Your first, like walking through that door. Hi, I'm Ishmael.
Yeah,
Like,
it was fun. Coming to the Nightmare Factory, it was
mhm,
definitely a very interesting experience. Kid Bannon and I, we moved there together.
mhm,
And the first time we walked through the doors of the Nightmare Factory, QT and Nick Camarado were walking through the
mhm.
door. So obviously you show the sign of respect, hold the door open for them. We walk in
Right.
behind them. Cody Rhodes is in the weight room just lifting. And I was like, damn, Cody's bigger than I thought he was. I, you see these wrestlers on TV, and the
Yeah.
camera really doesn't do their size justice. So when I saw
No, it
Cody
doesn't.
for the first time, I was like, "Oh, Cody's a lot bigger than I thought he was." But the first day at the
Mhm,
Nightmare Factory was really fun. It was basically an introduction day, and you had to go up there and introduce yourself, and
mhm.
but you had to do it in kind of like a very characteristic promo style fashion,
I
and
was gonna
then
say,
the
yeah. You show your promo. Yeah, it's a promo to be, you know, because they want to see how it is.
Yeah, they want to see how it is, and the winner,
Mhm.
whoever had the best promo, got like $100. And actually, I won it, and another girl won it, so we split. They gave us $100 each, basically. So that was a
Yeah.
cool introduction. And honestly, for me, it was cool because I didn't really do anything that was super promo-ish. I just went
Mhm.
up there and I just introduced myself and I told them who I was. So it was kind of a eye-opening experience that in order for you to stand out, you just have to be yourself and you have to
You have to be
tell them,
yourself. Yep.
yeah, you got to be yourself, but point out facts that are unique to you. Like, what can you say about yourself that no one else can say, or very few other people can say in the room? And that's
Mhm.
basically what I did. But coming into the
Cool.
Nightmare Factory, it was an
Mhm.
awesome experience. Kid Bandit and I, we both had 9 months of wrestling training entering the factory. So we weren't
Mhm.
completely brand new, but we had to
No.
enter with the mindset of everything that we learned before, enter with a blank canvas and be open to critiques and open to new ideas on how to do things, especially entering a new wrestling school.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. This is it's an experience, and that's which is cool is that they do that show. Also, they do that wrestling show. You don't get that at a
Mhm.
you don't really get the experience like that at a normal training school. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah, exactly.
to
You're talking about the
showcase.
Nightmare Factory showcases, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I mean, you see how H2O, down in Williamstown, that's what they do every Monday night. They'll do a live show. They'll get the new people a chance to, be out there in the spotlight and show who you are, and then get out there and just start wrestling.
Yeah, it was awesome because that's where Kid Bannon and I made our debuts, and it was pretty surreal because his match was before mine, and then my match was right after his. So we made our debuts back to back.
Mm-hmm. And then and then after that, you faced that tag team on Dark, and then you faced two guys I know, the Anthony Bowens, and
Yeah.
Max Caster from the East Coast. Crazy, right? Like you never think you would wrestle the Shook Crow, when they were like just odds and ends of wrestling, Annoying.
Yeah, that was a AEW Dark tag match with Dante Smiley, who was my tag team partner during that time, and it was a fun match. It was a first time on Dark, so had the opportunity to feel what it feels like to be in front of a camera and an audience of that capacity.
Yeah. I still, you know what? To this day, I have not been. They were in Atlantic City. I could have gone to see Dark. Next time they come around, I'm definitely going. Yeah.
You get to see a lot of new indie talent that's coming up.
Yeah, which is wild. You just never know, and you're like, I know that I've wrestled. I know this guy. I'm, like one of my comrades. I wrestled with him, and now Santino Brothers is a really great training school. People don't realize they have some fun. I'm proud to, say, like, because you had, the master himself, and you had you had Supreme, you had just a lot of names that would come out of there. Eli, look at that, Eli Everfly, one of the hell talent that kid was. My gosh, he was like his girlfriend, Delilah Doom, I believe.
Yeah, Delilah Doom, which is now his wife, actually.
Yes, they're married. Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to Eli. I got to get him back on this podcast. Just a great character altogether. Remember him coming out to like the East Coast, we went to Chicago and just tore the house down. He just tore it down for different crowds. And that's what you want. Different opportunities. But as yourself, coming back on your first, like going to your first independent show by yourself, like as a fan, what was that experience? Check it out.
Oh, going to my first independent show as a fan?
Yes.
As a fan, it was a very interesting experience because I grew up watching WWE and I didn't really know that the indie scene existed like that. Like a lot of WWE fans who are younger, at least, I would say, don't really know that the indies are a thing. So when I went, I was like, what is this? I was like, this is like WWE, but not as high quality production. But when I was at my first indie show, I forgot what indie show it was, but when I was at my first indie show, I was like, wow, these guys are really good. And then I asked my friend, I was like, where'd these guys come from? And he was like, this is how they get to WWE and bigger companies like Impact. They usually start on the indie scene. And I was like, oh, so this is where they get their wrestlers from. It's from the indies. Because I had no idea. I always thought growing up as a kid, if you were a professional wrestler, it was something like that ran in the family.
Yeah.
Like you have to be born in it to get into it, which in some of the cases that is true with like the Flairs and like the legacy families.
Yep, the Codys.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of how I thought it was for everyone who was a professional wrestler. But then I discovered the indie scene and I was like, gotcha, this all makes sense now.
Yes, yeah, because they bring back the legends and you have a legend night, or they'll bring in a legend to wrestle a young talent that you never even knew who he was, like
exactly
the local talent that was signed for the card,
Yeah, and indie wrestling does not get a lot of props or respect that it truly deserves.
But now we got a lot of wrestling that's really catching people's eye that don't really know, It's out there, man. We have your strong style. We have, you think about it, your hybrid, just really, it's all lucha and just it's insane,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, as we were saying, a pay-per-view like WWF, did you go to any of those growing up? Also?
My very first WWE pay-per-view was Elimination Chamber in 2011 because I'm from Oakland, California, and they came to Oakland for the Elimination Chamber. That was my very first time ever attending a WWE pay-per-view, and it was surreal because I got to see my favorite wrestler of all time wrestle, which is John Cena. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, and just being in that environment for the first time ever inside of a WWE pay-per-view was insane. I had a lot of fun. I believe the Elimination Chamber match winners that night was Edge and John Cena, if I was correct. So it was a fun show to go to.
And then after that, you were like, all right, I'm going to go to a couple more and see what this is like. You know, you get hooked after a while. You get hooked with your friends. You're like, all right, let's just go to another pay-per-view and, you know, let's have fun. That's what it's about, you know?
Yeah, I got to go to WrestleMania 35 a few years ago with one of my friends who's a huge wrestling fan as well. We got to go to WrestleMania 35. We got
I got you beat because I went to WrestleMania 5 as a kid.
5? Wow. Okay, yeah, you for sure got me beat.
Yes.
30 by 30 years.
Yes. But, you know, like I always tell my friends, I tell people all the time that, you know, my experience with my dad was, you know, Christmas time and we're sitting nosebleeds way up top. You know, nosebleed. And we're 5 rows away from the commentator, Jesse the Body and Gorilla Monsoon.
Uh-huh.
You know, holding my Mega Powers fluorescent side up in the crowd, you know, just to get the Hogan and the Macho Man, you know, just this so real moment. Hearing the sound of the microphone, because, you know, they had that microphone always under the ring, so you heard the thump of it, you know.
Yeah, you sure did.
And just watching the guys come down the long entranceway, it's like, holy cow, this thing is it's no joke, you know. Like,
yeah,
nowadays you see on TV, it's like, wow, these it's like a football field, you know.
Yeah, they rent out like whole stadiums, like AT&T Stadium. They did it this last year in.
Yeah, and it's just like the dark stage, you know, like you just a long ramp, you know. You're probably like, wow, this is okay. This is like I'm going to WrestleMania almost, you know. Like I gotta walk down this. What am I doing here? You know, this is so real moment because I'm like, you're in your moment, you know. Which is
gotta walk down that ramp one day.
Yes, and you did, but you'll be down it again and again. And you just want to be, you know. And then time comes, people don't realize, you know.
Yeah.
But what other back to our WrestleMania 30? You were at that one,
WrestleMania 35 is the one I was
35.
at.
Yeah. And any others, or was that it? Was that more?
That was the only one I've ever attended, was WrestleMania 35, and it was definitely, in my opinion, the record-breaking one. That was the longest one ever, because the main event was Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair. That literally did not happen until Monday. Like, the main event went on the next day.
Now you being from like California, have you ever been to the Pro Wrestling Gorilla?
Ooh. PWG. I have not been to PWG.
I need to go. I need to get out to California and watch that. Yeah, it's one of those shows that people say is awesome. You know, it's like a list of to get in there. Also, you know, just like for ticket wise, it's like Japan, man. You know, when the card comes out, you have to get your tickets really fast. You know.
Yeah, PWG is the biggest indie. It's the biggest promotion on the indies. So.
Yeah. I would love to. Yeah, I mean, I have all the DVDs from like the past, you know. Like, what are DVDs nowadays, right? We don't even know. It's all
for
digital.
real. I still have a collection of DVDs in my closet.
Yeah, of all the probably the pro wrestling gorillas to your basic independent wrestling. You know, a lot of stuff that people don't even know. You know,
exactly. But a lot of big names have come out of PWG.
A lot have.
You got Ricochet, you got Will Ospreay, Kevin,
Dragon, Super Dragon, original, not Biff Busey, not Biff being the Super Dragon. You know, he's a great man. That's one tough guy. I love watching his work.
Yeah.
But anyway, what is your well, you said your scariest moment already to me was a concussion at that training school.
That was one of them.
What else have you done?
Like a scary moment in pro wrestling? I would say the most nervous I've ever been during pro wrestling was probably right before I was about to make my professional wrestling debut. Because I had the opportunity, along with the rest of my class members, to make my professional wrestling debut in front of Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall, Glacier, a lot of
Yes.
big names and a lot of eyes watching you. And you want to do the best that you can, but you also have to remember this is your first ever like legit wrestling match. Now, to be fair to myself, Kid Bandit and I, we trained for a year before we made our professional wrestling debut, and we have had numerous practice matches before that, but like this isn't a practice match. This is it.
No, this is the moment. Yeah, this is the
This
moment.
is
You
the
have to.
moment. And so like you got QT, you got Cody, you got Glacier, you got all these big eyes watching you. So you just want to go out there and do the best that you can. I put on a really good match with JDX. He's a really good guy. If you ever have a chance to get him on this podcast, definitely get him too.
Yeah.
But we put on a really good match. But I would say that was the most nervous I've ever been during a professional wrestling match was when I was getting ready to make my debut.
Yeah, because you sweat. You get that first sweat. You're like, all right, my hands are shaking. Like I got this. I can do this. You know, you just put your music on. You know, your go-to music. What's your music for? What do you come out to as your entrance theme? What's your
interest theme right now is like a generic hip hop beat. So I use two different songs depending on what venue I'm at. One of them is like a generic hip hop beat, but I'm getting my own song custom made and it's almost done. The other one that I usually use this song when I'm in Vegas. I come out to Calabasas, which is more of a pop song as well. But usually when I'm getting ready for matches, I will put on like my own list of music just to get myself in the right mental headspace. One of the favorite songs that I like to listen to that gets me in the right space of mind is 300 Violins Orchestra. It's an instrumental and it's a really good one. I like listening to that. I used to listen to that in college right before rugby and football games.
Sweet.
Just to get in the right headspace.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably you like all that stuff, but also like a normal playlist as well. You know, you like your 80s, you like your funk, you know, you like your genre mix of music, you know, like we all like these days of techno or what is techno, right? Remember when techno was so popular?
Yeah, like these kids growing up these days don't know what techno is.
They don't know. They know this emo rock pop or whatever, some sort of new stuff that's coming out for these kids. I like, what are you doing? I sat down in Starbucks just the other day. I went down and grabbed the Starbucks with my dad, and my dad looks over. He's like, "Look at that girl over there. She has like pointy ears." I'm like, "That's an emo person." Yep, you know.
Yeah, it's a new culture these days.
It is, but they do their own thing, and they're who they are, you know, and support each other, and it's like the LGBT community as well, you know.
Yeah.
And shout out to Effie for that. He's the biggest provider, you know. And Dark Chic as well. Can't leave Dark Chic as well, you know.
Yeah.
But man, I'll tell you what, man, I got no wrestling coming up. I'm on vacation this week, man. I'm going to fish with the old man. I rented a cabin.
Oh man, that's gonna be exciting. Yeah, I'm off these next 3 days as well.
I'm gonna be fishing up in the Poconos, Pennsylvania area.
Oh wow, okay.
Got a nice little fishing cabin, and my dad and I rented the cabin like for 4 days, so we'll be fishing right on a nice lake.
It's always nice.
I'll tell you what, man, I haven't fished for a long. Like I used to fish all my local lake as a kid, just go fishing every day. This is great to pick up a pole and go out and just enjoy nature, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's always nice to take a break from your work, and the world of professional wrestling sometimes can be very exhausting and very mentally draining. So you have to take care of yourself. Mental health is like the most important.
It is, man. I'm a garbage man by day, so I'm a metal truck laborer. So you know,
gotcha. Okay.
And I actually find cool stuff once in a while, wrestling related sometimes, and you know, I find title belts. And one of my friends actually found me an old SummerSlam chair, thick ass cushion, the thick cushion, yes, with Foley on it. I got it lucky.
Awesome.
I know. It's all beat up though, but hey, it's a relic,
It is a relic, yeah.
But yeah, so it's gonna be nice just to take a break from wrestling and just go out and enjoy myself with my old man. Catch some
Yeah,
fish,
and
hopefully.
you need that.
It's gonna be cold. It'll be nice and cold up in the mountains areas, so I can't wait.
No,
Like that.
definitely pack a jacket, pack some snacks.
Yeah, get the beers going. Local beers.
Exactly.
I mean, we're close to like Jim Thorpe, or actually, we're not too far from that Tony Deppin's brewery down in Pennsylvania. I might have to sneak by there and grab some from him, and his
Yeah,
brewery. Shout out to Tony.
most definitely.
But you got no wrestling coming up, or you're going to take a break and then go back to the grind.
Yeah, so for me, my next match coming up is May 13th, so this Friday. It's going to be another match in Vegas. I'm going to be at Versus Pro Studios for Pride Style that day. And then the next day, I'll be in the Bay Area at East Bay Pro Wrestling for their 7th anniversary. So 7 years since they started. So I'm looking forward to that. So I got 2 shows next weekend, and then Sunday I'll be off. And then the next week after that, I believe I'm on my way to Oregon with Kid Bandit for DOA.
DOA, yeah. And just recently won some titles. I saw Destination.
Yeah, Destination 6. So Kid Bandit and I, we defended.
Congratulations.
Our,
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we defended our tag team titles. So we entered that match as champions, and we left as champions. We are, according to my knowledge, the first ever Destination 6 tag team champions, and we would like to keep it that way. And be the only tag team to ever hold that title.
Where are they from? What's that promotion out of?
They are from Barstow, California, but they're actually moving to Chicago.
Ooh, wow! So you might be in Chicago for a couple of shows. Then there's a nice promotion over there. Shout out to Freelance and Freelance Wrestling.
Yep. Freelance Wrestling, exactly.
People don't. I'll tell you what, man. That's one promotion. If I had a chance to go back to Chicago for like a game changer experience where we went the one time, I'll tell you what, just to go see it, it's awesome experience to be in the Freelance crowd, and being part of like being there to watch the Kylie Ray. My God, and just the local talent was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mitch.
So it's funny you brought up Kylie Ray because that's the first time I met Kylie Ray was actually at a WWE tryout. We were at the same tryout, and I met her at that tryout.
Really?
Yeah. Really sweet person, really nice, really down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if she'll remember me. I think she might remember me because I'm really good friends with Trevor Outlaw, who was a part of my class, who's really good friends with Kylie Ray. So I think she does remember who I am, but she's a really nice person. Got to meet her at that tryout.
She is one hell of a wrestler. She's awesome.
She sure is. Yeah.
I'm glad to see that she's back doing her thing. It's like she's
most definitely
back on the indies. Who cares about that other place? Doesn't matter. More opportunities for her. And you never know. Could end up on AEW. Like I tell people, hey, you might be end up just come check. You never know. Doors are open.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, the wrestling scene is thriving more than ever these days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you had to pick like top 3 right now, independent stars, who would you like to face?
Oh, my top 3 independent stars who I would like to face. Okay, one would be Titus Alexander. He's from the NorCal area. I would like to face him. He's been one person I would like to work with. Let's see. Outside of Titus Alexander, Kevin Blackwood is
there's a guy. Yes, he's tough, man. He's one of those guys who could go.
Yeah, Kevin Blackwood, which I would definitely like to work with. And let's see, outside of Kevin Blackwood,
Alex Zane.
Alex Zane would be a good guy to match up with. Our styles of wrestling are completely different. Or Blake. Yeah.
Or Ninja Mac.
Ninja Mac, yeah.
There's a guy that's just coming back from a fresh tour of Japan. My gosh.
Yeah.
That style altogether, it's just these guys these days, man. It's like you're like, holy shit, right? You see these talents, you're like, these guys got something that people need to see. Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
And to wrestle, would be an honor. You know what I mean? You'd be like, wow, I wrestled Kevin's, Alex Zane or Blake Christian,
Yeah, Blake
and,
Christian.
mhm.
Yeah,
and
huge
if
name.
and if you had to go against the tag team, who would it be? If you had to take Kid Bandit with you, again, and go indie scene, man, like a nice. There's so many good tag teams. I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because there are so many good tag teams out there that I know. One that I would like to face, they're like on
Mhm.
the same level as Kid Bandit and I, but the reason why we would like to face them is because they're Nightmare Factory Class 1, we're Nightmare Factory Class 3, and we would like to face them is TSF, an
Mhm.
up and coming tag team right now. We would like to definitely work them because they're a tag team out of the Nightmare Factory. We're a tag team out of the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah.
There's not that many tag teams that I could think of that are coming outside the Nightmare Factory.
Like Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne. Ooh, there's another tag, right? That'd be
Yeah,
good, right?
that would
You
be
and
an
Kid.
interesting match because their styles of wrestling are similar
Mm.
to each other. The way Kid and I wrestle, we're two different types of wrestlers. So it would be a very interesting match to put together.
Ooh, Brett. Hey, Brett, Game Changer Wrestling. Listen to this, man. Atlanta. Make this happen. There you go.
Yeah, that would be a really, really great
Yeah.
match. Clash of styles for sure.
Yeah, because they got the Nick Wayne who's just getting himself off. Is going to be graduating school and going to be signed to getting a contract. As well. So he's pumped for that. Like that guy's gonna like that talent. Like he could press. He could he could like Dante. All these high flying guys on AEW roster. Like it's gonna be
Exactly.
interesting. Oh God! And what if he goes against Danhausen too? Oh boy, that could be interesting.
That would.
Or a Hook, right?
Yeah, Hook is another young, incredible talent right now.
He really
And
is.
I had the opportunity to meet Hook at the factory too before he debuted. Really nice guy.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, man, we talked. What other promotions? Do you have anything else coming up, or is that's about it? The ones we just covered. I think that was it.
As far as shows coming up, I have to look at my calendar again. Like I know next week I'm in Vegas, Bay Area. The week after that, I'll be flying to Oregon with Kid Bandit. I think that following week I'm off, and then the next week I'll be back in the Bay Area for Full Queer, another show that's going on in the Bay Area. But yeah, I have to look at my calendar. But besides that, I know my next coming shows are Vegas, Bay Area, and Oregon.
Man, you got yourself a busy schedule, man. I wish I could come to the West Coast a lot. It's hard vacation wise, to pick your days off. Gotta pick off a day of work, but it's worth saving up for. It's
No,
worth
for
saving
real.
up.
Like I have to take off days from work too, just to travel and work my shows.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be worth it down the line.
But where can everybody reach you at? Right down here on social media.
Right. So on my social media, Twitter, I'm at IshmaelVaughn. IG is the only one that's different. It's the independent variable. And then Facebook, IshmaelVaughn as well.
I want to say thank you for coming on, Ishmael, and let's do this again sometime. I'd love to have
you. Of course. Thank
on.
you for having me, Dave. I appreciate it. It was fun. I appreciate you having me
on.
It
was fun. Absolutely. And maybe I'll let my friend know to jump in this conversation. He loves talking. So maybe I'll get him to tag team with me, and we'll tag team with you. How's that?
Why not? Let's do it.
Three-way dance, But what do I have coming up podcast wise? Well, I'm taking a break for a couple days in May here. So after this podcast, I will be taking a break, and then I'll be back to the wrestling grind by getting I believe I have independent. Yes. There's a lady, she goes by the name of the Queen of the Indies. Shout out to Tiffany. The Indy Corner podcast owner, the Queen herself, will be on the podcast the 17th of May. And then May 24th, I will have, he's pretty awesome in what he does because he designs a lot of ring aprons and paintings. He's called Davey Painting. I'm looking forward to talking to him. And then the following night, I believe I have I believe I have actually. I spoke about Rico, or Gino,
Oh yeah,
Gino
Gino.
Riviera,
Mhm.
Gino Riviera, and then I'm going to have in June. I'm going to be having Darwin Finch. I'm looking forward to that one.
That's gonna be another good one.
I'm all packed up because I'm taking a break from. I usually go to TOS Atlantic City, man. It's hard to get myself money to go save up, but I'm going to be watching on, supporting everybody by watching on IWTV. Take a little wrestling break from my local wrestling as well. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it, man. But it's okay. We still have wrestling. You know, I can still find out. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it.
You have a good night, my friend. We'll do this
You
again.
too. Yeah. Have a good night. I forget you're 3 hours ahead of me. You have a good night as well.
You too.
Of course. Thank you.
Yep. Later. Oh, I
Later.
hit the wrong button. Yep. You could go out. I just have to hit the button for this. Oh, shit. What did I just do here? There it is.
You can find more Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on the following. Just hit the like button and share. You can hear the audio portion of Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. Social media, Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on Facebook, Twitter at DavidNJ32, Instagram, DavidNJ36, YouTube, David C. Russell, and DeathmatchWrestlePodcast.com. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself. PodcastCity.net. Facebook, Podcast City Network. Twitter at Podcast City Net. Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast merchandise available. PodcastCity.net/shop. Joners Wrestling Podcast Network. Head over to WrestlingWithJoners.com. Follow them on Facebook, Joners Wrestling Podcast Network. Twitter at with Joners _pod. I want to mention Collar and Elbow. CollarandelbowBrand.com. Use the promo code Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast and save 10% off when you make a purchase. Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast.